Okay, this particular problem is talking about a concrete mix that uses 2 parts cement, 3 parts water, 1 part aggregate, and 2 parts sand. So what we're going to do, we're going to start off making all of these represented by X because we don't know how much cement we need, and we don't know how much water or how much aggregate or how much sand. And the step one is always to make all missing values just your plain X. So we know all of these things. We know that cement is going to be added to the water, and that's going to be added to the aggregate, and we're going to add to that the sand, and that's going to give us this whole mix of concrete. That's how we're going to create it. So all of these are values we don't know what they are, so we're going to call cement X and water X and aggregate X and sand X. We do know that we have a total. It says here, how much of each does it take to make 112 cubic feet of concrete? So that's the total. The concrete is 112. And so right now we know that we have all these missing values, and we don't know what any of them are, but we're just going to call them all X. Now, they're not all exactly the same amount, but right now that's the way we have it written. That's the first step, is to make sure they're all written as just X's. Then step 2 says, go back into the problem and read it again and adjust any of the X's as described in the problem. So we're not going to get rid of the X's at all. We're going to leave every X right here. But we might have to add something to it, or multiply, or divide, or subtract, whatever the description is in the problem. In this part it says 2 parts 2 of the cement. So cement is here, right? So to two of them, 2 times however much it is. And then 3 parts of the water, so 3X, 3 pieces of it. 1 part of aggregate, which we already have. When you just have an X sitting here, we assume there's an invisible 1 sitting next to it. And then 2 parts of sand. Okay? So now we have everything represented here. We have cement, water, aggregate, sand, and the total amount of concrete. And now step 3 is just solve for X. So this is just a normal problem that you've been solving for all along when you were solving equations. If they gave you this problem, then you know to combine the like terms first. So we have 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 1 here is 6, 7, 8. So now we have 8X is equal to 112. And then to get X alone, we're going to divide both sides by 8. And when we do that, we find out that X, just plain X, is 14. Now that doesn't tell us the amounts of what we're going to use. That's just saying everywhere we have an X, we need to put in 14. So like for cement, it's 2 times 14. So we need 28 parts of cement. For water, we need 3 times 14, which is 42 gallons of water. For aggregate, it's just plain X, so it's just plain 14. And for sand, it's 2 times 14, which is 28. And notice if you add these up, they do equal 112.